What's going on, guys? Underrain here, and today I'm bringing you 5 tips for early level Ironman. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now, if you're familiar with old school RuneScape, but you're not familiar with what an Ironman is, just know that they should be muted, and if you hate yourself more than you already do, you should definitely give this a try because it is painful in more ways than I can describe. I recommend everyone should try an Ironman, whether it's a hardcore. Don't try ultimate. I mean, unless you're sick in the head, that's for you, but I don't know how those guys do it. But that's besides the point. So yeah, if you're feeling of getting a little frisky and you're getting tired of the regular way of playing, hop over to the Ironman world and we'll show you how to suffer even greater. Now, if you're not familiar with me, I am currently maxing 2 accounts at once. I have my main and I also have my iron. And yes, I will be maxing both of those. So I hope you enjoy me on this journey as I max 2 accounts and bring you guys content along the way. Speaking of content, I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday right here at twitch.tv/underrain. If you want to come watch me learn new bosses and die a lot, especially on the Ironman where I have limited GP and probably won't be able to do them very long without having to go grind a bunch more GP, come check me out. I'd love to have you guys there, and I'll see you in the evenings. So without further ado, let's get into tip number 1. Bank everything. Everything you find, pick up, slay, kill, any drops you get, any fish you catch, everything you need to put in your bank. This is why this is not a guide for Ultimate Ironman. This is just for Ironman. Don't make the mistake I made and go to 99 fishing, but you didn't bank everything you had, so now you only have the bank XP for cooking level 94, and now you have to figure out how you're going to get 30,000 more fish without having to fish again. If you catch it, bank it. It'll help you in the long run. You're going to realize, especially in the early game Ironman, how hard it is to get anything in this game. It is annoying, it takes time, and you will have to go through a list of 13 different things and 13 reasons why you need a single item to go do something that's going to take 5 minutes. You're going to spend more time acquiring said item than you are just doing the task you needed that item for. So just a heads up on that. All right, tip number 2, do your chores. I see this across, many different content creators because I watch a lot of RuneScape videos myself. And this is just a thing that needs to be repeated over and over and over again, is to do your chores. They're really important for, a regular account, but an Ironman especially, because you can't just go to the GE and buy the things you need. Like, you have to go and acquire them, and getting GP early on is really hard for an Ironman. I mean, it's not like super hard, but it's just harder. So like, what do I mean by chores? I mean birdhouse runs, herb runs, seaweed runs are very important on Ironman. My buddy actually had to teach me that, which I didn't know. So I spent about 50 days so far doing no seaweed runs. Make sure you do them, especially right after a birdhouse run. And other things like staves and stuff like that. Just things that you can do every day to get, items that you typically wouldn't be able to. And it helps boost your account little by little, because you're not going to be able to just go buy these things. You have to get them. The more you do them, the more stuff you're going to have, the more seeds you're going to get, the more GP you're going to get. And in the long run, it's just going to make things a lot easier for you until you can get to later game stuff where you're slaying bosses and doing fun things. All right, tip number 3, unlock early teleports as fast as you can. Biggest one is definitely the Ardoni cloak. I've heard this said so many different ways. I just say Ardoni. The Ardoni cloak gives you unlimited teleports right to the monastery, which you can constantly recharge or refill your prayer points. And then there's a fairy ring very close to it, and it's very beneficial. Definitely consider knocking that one out as soon as possible. You'll thank yourself later. Speaking of fairy rings, that's another one you want to get as soon as you can. All you got to do is start Fairy Tale 2. It's pretty easy and it'll help you out. 2 others I'd like to mention, 3 perhaps. Spirit trees, those are really helpful. They're actually not that helpful. I mean, you use like the one next to the Grand Exchange, and if you're like me, that's literally it. You use that for tree runs to go from the Grand Exchange to the Gnome Stronghold to the Gnome Village. That's it. I don't use them much more than that, probably because I'm still a noob, but we'll figure that out later. 2 more is game necklaces are really helpful early game. It'll definitely save you a lot of time. And the last thing when it has to do with teleports is grouping teleports to different mini games. Those are extremely helpful. I highly recommend getting them as soon as you can, because some you actually have to go to the place and unlock. So I would just recommend going there and doing it. It might take you 5 to 10 minutes to get to that point, but once you have the minigame teleport, you'll have it forever. So definitely recommend doing it. Oh, I guess I should say why it's so important to get these early game teleports. It's because runes are very slim and far between. Unless you do what I did and spent 30 hours over a single weekend doing rune crafting, which I don't recommend to do at all. But if you're sick in the mind like me and you want to do that, have fun. Number 4, Turael Skipping for Slayer points. I never did this on my main, which is very surprising and very noob-like. I didn't realize how nice it is to Turael skip and get points for things like the rune pouch, unlocking certain Slayer tasks, extending certain Slayer tasks, and just getting items from the Slayer shop. Extremely beneficial. And if you're not familiar with Turael skipping, I'll just do it very briefly. Basically, you do 9 tasks with him, and then on the 10th, you do it at another Slayer master. I like to use Konar because you get more points, and I'm not trying to go in the wilderness, so stick to Konar and then Never Steve or Duradel depending where you're at in your account. But I highly recommend that. It's a great way to get fast Slayer points, to get certain unlocks that if you did what I did on your main and just grind Slayer for Slayer, it takes forever to get those unlocks. You could have just Turael skipped for like 5 hours and got literally every item that you need. Number 5, and my final tip, is do clue scrolls, because it's a great way to get certain things in the game that you're not going to be able to get any other way, and you can get a lot of sweet rewards from clue scrolls. I never really did these on my main because I didn't realize how awesome they actually are, and they're fun to do. Now I do them on my main every time, but my main's to the point where like I just do master scrolls, so that's not really an early game tip. For my Ironman, like I do the beginners, easy, mediums, hards, elites. I literally do them all just for the flex, honestly. I probably don't have to, but I like them. So anytime I get a clue scroll, I love going. I'm getting the rewards that come out of them and really hoping for something nice. That's honestly how I got Black D'Hide for my Ironman, was I got them both in a single clue scroll, and I was like, set for a very long time. Getting certain items like that super easy from a clue scroll is going to benefit you so much more than having to grind extensively for a single skill just to get that item. And that's a great way to get the magic short bow too, which I have yet to get on my Ironman, but I'm working towards it, and I don't feel like fletching until level 80, I think it is. So that's definitely a great way to do it. One final and bonus tip I'm going to give you guys is, I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory, but if not, I'm going to give it to you guys anyways. I did say earlier in the video that acquiring GP in an Ironman is very hard. The bonus tip is you are going to be high alching for that GP. It's one of the best ways to do it. All you got to do is get your magic level up, get to magic level 55, and high alching is going to be basically how you get almost all your GP in the early game for Ironman. So I highly recommend getting that as fast as you can. High alching is going to be your friend, and you are going to do it a lot. So be prepared for that. All right, well, there's 5 tips for early game Ironman and a bonus tip that I got for you guys. Hopefully this guide has helped you in one way or another. I took a long break from making content, but I've been playing consistently the past 6 months, even still RuneScape, so I've just been grinding a lot. But it does take a lot of time to make these videos, to, you know, edit, get the XP rewards, take the time to do this kind of stuff. Now I'm kind of in a point where I do have the opportunity to start making content again on a regular basis. So I am excited to bring you guys more stuff as much as I possibly can, simply because I enjoy this. I enjoy RuneScape, I enjoy the community, and so I really want to be a part of it. So I hope you guys are excited to at least join with me on this journey of maxing 2 accounts and watching my progress for the content that I create on the way. Hope y'all have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next video.